There are a lot of great fundraising strategies that work really well, but one of the lowest strategies out there is to play the victim. And that's exactly what some in politics are doing to raise money these days. If you are in the DNC mailing list, you may have been receiving some emails saying that the evil Republicans are coming after the poor President Obama, threatening him with impeachment. Well, Howard Portnoy of libertyunyielding.com is in the DNC mailing list and getting all of those emails, and he thinks it's a little histrionic. Howard, how is it working? Are you sending money to the DNC? Is that how you're on these email lists? I want to know.
No, actually, Gina, I just received this through an email from someone else, but it's funny nevertheless. The president he's using a unique strategy. I think James Toronto said it best yesterday in his Best of the Web column. He said, imagine that this is a science fiction scenario, or it's a scenario for a movie where a president who's foundering wants to gain some footing. And so he orchestrates an impeachment campaign against himself. And that basically is what the Democrats and Obama are doing. They're claiming that the Republicans have a plot, that they've hatched a plot to impeach the president, when in fact nothing like that has happened.
This is really interesting because conservatives and even just common sense people around the country and the world, frankly, they want someone to answer for this slew of executive orders, this slew of legislation that we get to read after it's passed and implemented into our lives, taking over 20% of the American economy. We've been told again and again, you little people, sit down and shut up because we're the bosses. And so it's no surprise that you can spend about 2 minutes on any social media and there's some great outrage, some common sense person out there saying we need to impeach this president. It's a very tempting thing. So Obama is coming up with this strategy, or his strategist, because I really don't think Obama probably came up with this, but he's certainly all bought in. Why? Explain how this works to their favor.
Well, I think it all harks back to recent history, to the impeachment of Bill Clinton in 1998. It failed catastrophically, but it failed for the wrong reasons. It wasn't that Clinton wasn't guilty of, I think it was obstruction. That was true, but somehow, because there weren't enough Republicans on board, it requires 67 senators to sign off on it. And Republicans couldn't go through with it. And there was an independent counsel. And because of that, Clinton was able to distort the message, as were the Democrats, and claim that it was because he had had sexual relations out of wedlock. Mm-hmm. He distorted that, and it worked to his favor. And ever since then, I think impeachment has just been a dirty word.
So now impeachment is like the cool thing to do for the kids on the playground in Washington, D.C. How can we get this message out there, Howard, so conservatives aren't buying in?
Well, conservatives aren't buying into it. I mean, I think both Mitch McConnell and John Boehner have put out messages saying that this really isn't on the agenda. It's not on the future agenda, which is what Dan Pfeiffer, the communications director for the White House, has claimed. That in fact, the Republicans have no intention of impeaching Obama, despite the fact I believe there is a long list of impeachable offenses that was committed. And now, of course, he's looking to issue yet another executive order where he basically extends amnesty to half the illegals on the border.
Well, I mean, we want this stopped, Howard. You know, people out there with a lick of common sense, like I said, want this stopped. And so you say, wait until election time. Take all your aggression out at the ballot booth, bringing your friends, getting your friends, your church members, your synagogue members to vote the same way as you. That's where the real smack can take place, rather than trying to impeach the president. Thanks for being with us, Howard Portnoy. Check him out, libertyunyielding.com, at Howard Portnoy on Twitter.